Welcome back 3D students. In this video we're going to continue to refine our UVW layout by fixing some problems and just making the layout easier to use. Some of the problems are specific to my mesh. You may not have them or you may have them, but just looking at them you can see here that this right here is related to this hole I have in my mesh down here. I also have this area here. If I select these polygons you can see that that is related to the hand that apparently I didn't select an edge here to split that off completely, so I can fix that as well. So I'm going to start by fixing this hole down here in the mesh. So I'm going to close the UV editor because this is a geometry problem. I'm going to exit whatever mode I was in here and add a edit poly modifier to the top of my stack. I'll go to vertex mode and I'm going to right click and select target weld. I'm going to weld these two together, and then I'm going to take these and weld them together as well. These are just vertices that are sort of stray, and do the same with this foot. And move these up to reposition them. Okay, so now that that is fixed, going to exit subobject mode and add a UVW Unwrap modifier back to the top of the stack. All our seams are still valid. If we open the UV editor, you can see that we still have a problem with the UVs right here, even though the mesh is now together. You can see that there's a seam there, and this is that seam, so we need to fix that. We need to weld these two vertices together in all of the parts. So I'm going to switch to vertex mode here. Go to target weld and weld that together like that, and just do that for each one of them. I guess that was the only two. And you can see that those seams have disappeared that were right here. Now the other thing I need to do is break off these hands that did not get detached. Apparently I didn't click an edge that I should have clicked. So I'm going to select all of the polygons that make up that hand. You can see it right there. And I'm going to right click and select break, and that breaks that piece right off of there. I'm going to do the same thing with this other side. Right click, select break. And I had the same problem here and here. Now let's select everything here and repack. And now what we need to do is kind of straighten things out. Let's select element mode here and select the body. Move it out to the side here. As you can see, it's kind of curved here. I think there's some tension involved here. So what we need to do is relax this. So let's select everything, and we're going to go to Tools and select Relax. And we're going to leave it like this, and we're going to click Apply. And you can see that that straightened a lot of that out. And now that we've done that, let's repack. And that looks a lot better. And now what I usually like to do is check for distortion and stuff. If we click up here, you can click the texture checker, and you can see what that does. That gives you sort of an idea if anything's really pulled or not. You'll see the letters being distorted, like right here around the mouth. And all the things should basically be the same size, and they are. So it looks pretty good. And the other thing I like to do, I'm going to turn this off, is I like to sort of group things alike. So I'm going to select this and move it out. That's the mouth. This is an eye. That's a foot. This is an eye. That's another half of a foot. This is another foot. I mean, I like to have the pieces of the same feet together. And if you select one thing and it goes with another, you can see that the matching seams will appear in blue. So this is an eye, and this is the other half of that eye right there. This is a hand. This is the other half of that eye there. This should be the other hand. And this should be the other half of that foot. Now, if we turn the texture checker back on, you can see that the legs are sideways. So I'm going to turn on the rotate, select the rotate tool here, and I'm going to rotate those so that they are facing up and down, so that the letters are basically up and down here. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I'm going to do the same thing with the arms. The arms are sort of oriented properly. I'm just going to leave them like that. Now when I select a leg, you can see here are the 2 feet that go with it. So I'm going to put those down here and rotate them so that they face the correct way and that they are straight. I'll do the same thing. I'm just going to move these up. And do the same thing with the hands. And I'm just trying to position these so that the like parts are in a similar place. The computer doesn't care about that when it packs them. It just packs them so that they fit in the space the most efficient way. So now I'm going to take all of these things and put them back in here like I want them. So I take this and put it back here. Take this and put it over here. Now I can take all of this and scale it on my own, like so. It's already been scaled relatively by the computer, so I can just put it all in there and still have it work for me and be laid out like I want it to be. It may not be the most efficient use of space, but that's the way I want it. And now I know which hands go with which arm's which. I also know which eyes are which, and I know which feet go with which leg. Well, I think that looks pretty good, so I'm just going to leave it alone. So when we come back in the next video, we're going to render the UV template and begin to texture. And I'll see you then.